Coming up, unlocking a new level of perfection, the I Want More Money light.
Wait a minute, we have a service engine zone light already.
I clean a mirror. And yes it is.
Guten Tag and Happy New Year, and welcome to the new episode of Project Frankfurt, the E92 M3. Over the last two episodes, we fully rebuilt the S65 V8 engine, reinstalled it, and started it for the very first time. And in this episode, it's time to break in the engine, to run it in. But before we can go for that first drive, we need to overhaul the brakes, do the suspension, button up some few loose ends, and then hit the road. We are kicking off with the front brakes. I'm gonna cut the brake hose because we are replacing and upgrading them. A screw. Excellent. Unbolt the caliper. Spread out the pads. Caliper bracket bolts. The rusty rotor, despite being entirely rusty, it has a big lip, so it needs to be replaced. Gonna remove the brake shield as well so we can clean it. We need to remove this rusty bracket as well so we can paint it. So let's unbolt the brake line. Proper flare wrench. All right. Now we need to take apart the rear brakes as well. This one is trash as well, has a massive lip. Parking brake shoes, they're still good, plenty of meat left. I was just comparing them with the pictures of brand new ones and it looks about the same, so that's good. Next up, we're gonna remove the wheel bearing. This one isn't terrible, but it's not perfect either, so we're going to refresh it while in there, and I also want to vapor blast the steering knuckle. First, remove the wheel speed sensor. Oh, that was loose. Okay, with that one, I'm not gonna bother now. I'm just gonna zip it out on the table. Gonna remove the pinch bolt. Struts and shocks, they have over 145,000 miles, so you know that these are blown. There's no scenario in which they are good. Unfortunately, we can't replace them now because I want to install Bilstein B6 Temptronic shocks, same ones that I have on Project Raleigh. They are not in stock at the moment. I was told they're going to be available again beginning of New Year, January, which is right now. So if they arrive a bit later, we're gonna do them in the next episode. For now, we gotta stick with the blown shocks. Here's the nuclear from the other side. There's the wheel bearing. All right, we all know what follows next. This is my Vixen Surface Treatments Aquablast 1215 Vapor Blasting Cabinet, aka the creator of better than brand new parts. And I just switched media in it. I was using glass beads, glass media, which was incredibly dirty because I haven't changed it once since the day I started using this machine. And now we have ceramic beads, which are giving a different finish. So let me show you the difference. I thought it might be a bit tricky to show this on the camera, but it really isn't. The difference is clearly obvious. This is the finish with ceramic media, and this is with the glass media. Glass gives a bit duller finish. It almost looks like it's dirtier, but it's not. It's just the way it hits the surface and treats the surface. Ceramic packs a bit more punch, so the finish, it's even cleaner. It's pure aluminum, it's silver. It's a bit on the shiny side, which I don't really like. But that's totally fine, because after I'm done blasting all of the parts, especially aluminum ones, I treat them with XCP rust blocker to protect this beautiful finish, and that's what's going to give it a nice matte finish. This tip came from a very nice subscriber from Canada. He's been using this machine professionally for years, and he's running ceramic media in his machine, and the finish really is stunning. The downside to ceramic media is the price. It's very expensive. If memory serves me right, I paid between 400 and 500 euros for 25 kilograms of this media, while glass media for the same amount, it's like 30 to 50 euro. But on the plus side, ceramic media lasts a lot longer, and the finish is spectacular. I really like this. Here we go. Look at that. Wow. Just wow. We already took a spectacular finish to a whole different level. Anyway, this is the XCP rust blocker, and we're going to use this and treat the parts. I'm going to use a brush and spread it around. It's important to do this. While aluminum won't rust, it will oxidize, especially when exposed to German winters. Here's the comparison, untreated versus treated with XCP. The difference is very subtle. This is now a touch on the satin side, which actually works really well because it makes it look a bit more natural. And it's protected, which is the most important thing. Now I'm going to refurbish the calipers and the brackets, so I'm going to prep them for blasting. All right, I'm going to go quickly blast them and remove the paint. Finished blasting all of the parts. It took forever because this paint was really thick. I couldn't use my vapor blasting cabinet because it's not abrasive or strong enough to remove paint. It can remove it, but it's just miserably slow. So I had to use my crappy, cheap sandblasting cabinet that has aluminum oxide blasting media in it. And this removes paint much easier because it's far too abrasive, and it also leaves a nice scruffy surface for the paint to adhere. But that thing is just miserable. The dust goes everywhere, it gets jammed all the time. Not something I want to do again. Anyway, now I'm going to remove all of the pistons, and then we can degrease them and paint them. Oh, when was the last time someone blew the brakes on this thing? Ah, nice. And remove the seal. Nasty inside. Okay, the front pistons are in perfect shape. The rear pistons are good on the inside, but pretty ugly on the outside. I think we're gonna replace those. And now we need to degrease all of the parts. So first I'm gonna use brake cleaner and compressed air and clean them thoroughly. And then we're gonna dump them into this nitro, which is like a degreaser cleaner thing. And then I think after that, another round of brake cleaner, and that should do it. Dump the caliper in. Okay. Now I'm going to do a final round of brake cleaner and compressed air, and then we can mask the parts. Got heat resistant tape here. You'll understand why in a minute. I'm masking off the flat surfaces, like where the bracket bolts to the steering knuckle and the caliper to the bracket. That needs to be paint free. Nice and easy. Everything has been masked off and ready for paint. We're going with Foliatec 2-component caliper paint, and we're going with silver. From the factory, as you saw, these brakes were black, but to go through all this effort and trouble just to paint them the same color as brake dust just seems like a pointless exercise. So we're going with silver. This will make them stand out, pop out a bit more, and in my opinion, it's gonna look nicer. Everything is steel apart from the front calipers, they're aluminum. So for the steel parts, first we're going to use epoxy Brunox, which is a rust converter and primer in one can. So we're going to spritz that on all of these parts. Should protect them and make this finish last longer. And then we're going to paint them. This is an oven, and no, we're not going to bake blueberry muffins, unfortunately. It's currently 2 degrees outside. It's the middle of the winter, so not an ideal environment to be doing some paint and painting parts. So first I'm going to heat up all of the parts at around 80, 100 degrees Celsius for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can paint them. And at the same time, I'm also warming up the cans next to my heater. Okay, around 10 minutes, and let's do around 80. I think that should do it. Okay. Gonna take these straight to the paint booth. Welcome to the paint booth. These are nice and warm, so we can apply Brunox. And the Brunox can is nice and warm as well. That's very important. So I'm gonna spritz one thin layer of Brunox, take it in front of the heater to dry, and after about 30 minutes, I'm gonna apply a second layer. It's going purple, which means that the rust converter is doing its job. It's been about 40-45 minutes, and it's time for the second layer. Time to paint. The can is warm, and I've been shaking it like crazy for a while now. Now I can pierce the bottom. And now I can continue shaking like a lunatic. It's officially 10 minutes past midnight on Sunday evening, so technically it's Monday morning. Just went below zero. There's wind as well. And we're about to paint the calipers and the brackets. You might be thinking, dedication. Nah, just an obsessed lunatic whose wife is out of town. We gotta finish this now so we can assemble them tomorrow. Well, technically, later today. I'm so professional. Second layer here. Brunox is dry after about 2 hours or 20 degrees, but it was sitting directly in front of the heater all this time. And it's dry when you can jab it with your fingernail and you can't remove the finish. So this is dry. Good morning. The sausages are still drying, so in the meantime, let's do something else. While the brakes are drying, we can proceed with the suspension. We have the complete front end. Everything is original except for the wheel bearings. That's OE FAG, and I managed to find these control arms from TRW, so also original part with the BMW logo scraped off. The thrust arms, I ordered them from TRW as well as Lemforder, which is the same company owned by ZF, and those are made in Malaysia. The quality is poor, so I sent them back and I purchased original parts. Very expensive, but at the end of the day, worth it. Then original tie rods, sway bar links, and OE Lemforder boots made in Italy. Just spotted that this is not the original strut to the car. Production date is 09 and the car is 2011. Anyway, remove the wheel speed sensor and the brake pad wear sensor. Okay. Gonna do a quick spot of cleaning with Geon all-purpose cleaner. Brand new screws. Got Geon Preserve here. That looks good for something that's going to get instantly dirty as soon as we leave the shop. This bracket here that I also refurbished is very rusty. The beautiful steering nuclei, the spindle, the suspension carrier, however you want to call it. I spread the knuckle and it should slide in. Line up the notch like that. The little bracket, also refinished. A bolt, a new one, and a new nut. So this needs to sit all the way in. So use your chest in a manly manner to prop up the spindle and then do it up. The inner tie rod, and I made a mark here where the outer tie rod needs to sit so we get the alignment as close as possible to how it was before. 38 mil spanner, wrench, give it a couple of good twists, and that'll do it. Remember when we in previous episode found Melee inner tie rod, and I said that Melee doesn't make one for this car, and that's true. It's different. It's not the same length, and also the boot doesn't sit in the right place, which can potentially make problems when it comes to alignment. The boot. Clamp to clamp. She's gonna turn it upwards. Outer tie rod. Good and twist. Brand new nut. Mustn't forget the bracket for the headlight leveling sensor. As this is a ball joint, we can torque it to speculation now. And now a 90-degree angle. Okay, that's 90 degrees. Gonna replace this rusty little link here. Here's a new one and a new nut. So all of these new studs and bolts typically rust quickly, so I'm gonna use rust blocker and just coat them a little bit. Protect them from rusting. You can also torque the ball joints. The wheel bearing, this notch here needs to line up with this cutout in the spindle. The bearing comes with new bolts, and I also painted the inner part of the hub because this always rusts immediately and it's super annoying, so I just gave it a coat of paint, engine paint, so it should be durable. Bolts have Loctite on them, so if you're using the old ones, make sure you use Loctite. Brand new OE ATE wheel speed sensor. The thrust arm. As this is a rubber bushing, we're just gonna do it finger tight and then final torque with the car down on the ground and suspension fully loaded. Oh, that's a lot of torque. Now I can plumb in the wheel speed sensor. Brilliant. The brake shield, brand new bolts. I also refinished it because it was a bit rusty. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna go copy paste on the other side. The sway bar, we gotta replace the bushings. Interesting. The bushing clips in. I've never seen that before. That's plastic. That is so weird. It has plastic tabs on the end. And this, well, time for the magic act. Brand new bushings. First, we push in the top part, well, the bottom one, into the bracket. This goes in here, make sure it's seated correctly, and then clip in this part. Oh, I see, you have to use your entire body. Oh, and it still won't do it. Gentle kicks. Well, this one is successfully clipped in. And that's both of them clipped in. Pop the sway bar in. Brand new nuts. Just gently snug them up, and then the final torque is done. You guessed it, with the suspension fully loaded. The sway bar link. Back to the brakes. These are now dry, but not fully cured. After about 7 days, probably even longer, given the temperature outside, they're going to be fully cured. And that means I need to be somewhat careful how I handle them, hence a nice soft carbon fiber towel. Gonna blow it out with compressed air. The pistons, we are going to reuse the old ones because they're in perfect condition. And I believe this is magnesium, if I'm not mistaken. It's very light. And all of the aftermarket ones, they're steel, so I want to keep this because you can't buy this brand new from the dealer. And then the seal and the boot, that's OE80E. The pins as well, and the bushings. And then I have bleed screws here as well. Here's the assembly grease from ATE. Pop in the seal. Make sure that's seated correctly. The boot. Make sure that's fully seated as well. Lube up the seal. And now pop in the piston. It's going in. And now I need to secure and clip in the boot properly. Here you gotta be careful not to damage it. I'm gonna use a plastic wedge tool. If you have a PVC pipe that's the same size, you can use that to push in the clip. It does help if you can feel your fingers and it's not -5. Now we can use a bit of compressed air just to see the piston move. See that? Still gotta make sure that the boot is properly clipped in, which it is. So just push it back in. And that's the piston installed. Brand new original bleed screw. I tried the aftermarket ones in the past and the material that they're made of is not good and it just immediately starts to rust. The bushings, careful here. One is shorter and the other one is longer. Same with the pins. You can see that this is where the longer one goes and this is where the shorter one goes. A bit of silicone spray, only the outside, not inside. There it is. The pins, per the repair manual, you shouldn't use any grease on the guide pins. A lot of people do. BMW says not to use it because this end here is open. So when you lube it up, it's gonna attract brake dust, dirt, and all of that stuff and wear out the pin or the bushing. So I typically go without any grease and I never had any issues. Pop in the new one. But do make sure that they slide freely. Excellent. That's one done. For the rear calipers, I couldn't find OE parts from ATE. They're not available. So we're going with Frankfurt. This is a Spanish company and brand new pistons. The old ones are pretty pitted as you can see and rusty on the inside. So I don't really want to use them. There's the new one. Clean the piston. Excellent fitment. And then the guide pins are OE80E. The bleed screw that comes with this kit is pretty crappy. This rusts almost instantly. So I'm using the original one. And there you have it. That's how you properly refurbish brake calipers. It is a long and tedious process. It took about 2 days just to blast them and paint them. And then you gotta let them dry and assemble them. But do it right, do it once. That's my motto.
If you're wondering why I didn't go for upgraded brake calipers, well, you're looking at it. As the stock rotors are a known weak point, I went for the upgrade from Gyro Disc. I reached out to them and they were kind enough to support the project and provide a set of these beautiful floating 2-piece slotted discs. Something you typically find with big brake kits, yet Gyro Discs developed these race/track rotors to be a direct bolt-on replacement for stock ones and work with stock calipers. They have 48 curved directional vanes for improved cooling, anti-rattle hardware, replaceable rotor rings. The central hat is made of aircraft spec aluminum, and by running gyro discs, we are not only saving weight but also maintaining the factory brake bias and ABS efficiency. Besides the performance gains, these should be a perfect solution for me as I want to be able to run 18-inch wheels in winter, which is something you can't do with big brake kits, and still have upgraded brakes for when hitting the track or for heavy autobahn braking. For the brake pads, I got PFC Z-rated pads from Beamer World, which are upgraded street pads as this will be primarily a street-driven car, and stainless steel brake lines in ATE Type 200 brake fluid.
Wheel hub paste only on the lip, not on the mating surface. Grab the left rotor. These rotors really are beautiful. Brand new screws. Caliper bracket. Everything is so shiny. I almost don't want to use it. Yet, I want to. The rotor has perfect clearance. Lube up the sliding surfaces on the pad, the bracket, and the caliper. The caliper. And the caps. Lastly, the vicious spring. There it is. Pretty much impossible to install the clip without doing a bit of scratch work, so I'm gonna touch up what I scratched. That looks fantastic. Clean up the hub. Well, that's better, isn't it? I'm gonna test the handbrake. Okay, turns easily. Now let's do 2 clicks. Nada, but we need to adjust the parking brake. So this way spreads the shoes. Ooh, that's too much. We have a slight drag, and now when I lower the handbrake, it should spin smoothly, which it is. The bracket. New brake pad wear sensor. Clip it in. Oh man, -4 in the shop. I can't feel my fingers. I just walked in. Good. The brake line, stainless steel brake line. Good and twist. Okay. Bracket here is refinished as well. I can manage not to drop it. Just finished installing the brake lines for the rear calipers, and now I gotta do these 2. Sit rep. The placement of the middle rubber brake lines on this chassis is absolutely idiotic. There is no space to get your tools in there. It's very, very tight. Somehow I managed to replace the first one, the one that's closer to us. But the second one is a no-go because that nut is rusty and it welded itself to the pipe. So when I try to turn it, the entire hard line is twisting. So this hard line needs to be replaced, and in order to do that, I'd need to drop the entire subframe, and we're not going to do that now because it doesn't matter. Priority now is to break in the engine, and in the future, I am planning to overhaul the entire rear suspension, the whole subframe, the whole shebang. So when that happens, we're gonna replace that line as well. Annoying, but what can you do? All right, time to bleed the brakes. First, gotta suck out the old liquid. This brake fluid has really weird color. It's like fluorescent or something, I don't know. Hasn't been changed in a while. Fresh fluidity. My least favorite activity ever, bleeding the brakes. 3 million bars of pressure. Right, that'll do. I'm gonna run around real quickly and just make sure we don't have any leaks, and then we can get to the bleeding part. The transmission oil pump, in the previous episode I used ISTA to activate the pump, and it would say that it's running, but it's actually not. So now I'm gonna apply directly 12 volts to it and see if that does anything. And if it's dead, we need to replace it. The top pin is the positive one, and the bottom one is the negative one. Oh! It's running. So maybe my ISTA is not good. So the pump is good. That's good, I guess, because it's not cheap. So let me play with ISTA a bit more and see what's going on. Okay, I've been troubleshooting the transmission oil pump, and I tried IMPA, ISTA, and Tool 32, and all of them are saying that the pump is running, but it's not. I traced all of the wires now. The wiring is in order, and we manually tested the pump. That's working as well. So the only thing that makes sense is that my diagnostic tool is not good, which wouldn't make sense either because everything else works. But I don't know. On this green connector, this red wire, that's the positive one that goes down to the connector for the oil pump. And on the far left, there's a black connector, and this brown wire, that's the negative one. So when the ISTA is saying that the pump is running, there is 0 voltage here. The computer is not activating the pump. So what we're gonna do is manually jump the pump, so 12 volts. You can quite clearly hear it. And I'm gonna jump underneath of the car, top up the fluid. I gotta make sure that the transmission fluid level is correct. And then once the car is nice and warm, I'm gonna put it on the lift and see if the pump is running, because it needs to achieve a certain temperature for the pump to kick in. Okay, so I manually ran the pump for about 1 minute, which should be long enough to cycle the fluid through the transmission cooler lines, through the cooler. And now I removed the transmission plug, and I'm gonna start filling it until the fluid starts coming out. And then I'm going to activate it one more time, and that way we know that the fluid level is correct. Oh yeah, look at that. More fluid is going in now. The transmission is full now. So let me turn on the pump one more time. Okay, let it drip out and fit a new plug. Excellent. The reinforcement plate. And then 90 degrees. So from there until here. Beautifully executed. The transmission cover and the stupid cover. Remarkable the amount of screws holding this flimsy piece in place. This piece is rusty and ugly. It needs to go. Here's a new one with brand new screws. Time to button up everything in the engine bay. And now this giant slab of plastic. Cabin air filtration. New ones. Clip in the connector here. Weather stripping. Winter windshield washer fluid. All right, that'll do it. Hood shocks. Forgot to buy new ones. Hopefully these still work. They work. A little bit weak, I'm gonna order new ones. Wiper blades. How do you operate this? SWF. Das Original. Oh, I can't, I'm not long enough. Okay, the wheels. It's winter, which means we need winter tires. Say hello to the winter wheel set for Project Frankfurt. Original, brand spanking new style 260M wheels. Square setup, which means same size all around. And we have 245, 40, 18 Michelin Pilot Sport, Pilot Alpine 5 winter tires. I bought the wheels on eBay from a Bulgarian seller, paid 1,300 euros shipped, which is actually a really good price for brand new original wheels. These have been discontinued from the dealer, so I got lucky and I found them from that guy. I think they look spiffy. They're gonna look fabulous in the car, and I'm gonna be happy with this for winter. For summer, we're gonna go with competition wheels, but not just any competition wheels. I'm gonna show you that a bit later because they're custom wheels. Before we can put these on, we need to protect them. For protection, we are going to use ceramic coating for rims from Gion, but first we need to prep the surface with Surface Prep, and we have some premium carbon fiber towels. So we're gonna clean the rim thoroughly. No, these are gonna be a nightmare to coat. So many spokes. Even brand new factory rims have imperfections from the factory, but I already knew that. I bought brand new rims for E60 M5 and they have imperfections. On the inside, I'm going to apply ceramic coating all around, but I'm not going to wipe it off. I want to have a nice thick layer of ceramic coating because on the inner barrel, you get most of the brake dust, and I want for that coating to last as long as possible. These are going to be an absolute nightmare to clean, so it's a very good thing to ceramic coat them. It'll make cleaning much easier. And lastly, Tire Q Plus from Gion. I'm going to buff it out. That's the process. Now I'm just going to repeat it with the rest of them. We are going to run wheel spacers from SCC. Otherwise, it just looks really ugly because the wheel is really sunken in. So we're gonna go with 10 mil in the front and 15 in the back. Longer bolts that come with the spacers. Oh, this already looks so good. Gotta say, I do like the design of these rims. Man, my M3 is coming along. Now I gotta move it on the 4-post lift so we can torque the bushings. Brakes feel good. Oh, I think Oli deleted the cold start function. This is my official first drive. What a beautiful car. Okay, torque time. Cool, and there's a 10 mil nut here for the hydraulic line. The thrust arm bushings, 68 Newton meters and then 90-degree angle. Gonna make a mark on the bolt and then turn it 90 degrees. More. That'll do it, 90 degrees. The engine under tray, the stock one is notorious for breaking into million pieces, and that's what happened to this car. I found it in the trunk, completely destroyed. It's made of that flimsy, fabricy plastic material, and it has 2 bulges on the side that always get destroyed. So I didn't want to buy something that's not going to last, and instead I opted for this aftermarket one. This is a microfiber under tray. Online you can find various flavors from aluminum, metal, and all sorts of different designs and whatnot. This is the first one that I found that was available with quick shipping, and it wasn't terribly expensive, around 300 euros. I just test fitted it. It fits actually quite nicely. It's very light, so I like it. Okay. Cool, fits pretty well. We have a cutout here for the engine oil cooler, and we have cutouts here should one want to do a cooling air duct for the brakes. Black kidney grills, I actually don't mind them. I think it looks quite okay with this color combo, but still we're gonna go with chrome ones because I think I'm gonna like that better. Is that stuck? Oh, I need to lube up that. You should swivel, man. Swivel! That's it. The hood is locked forever now. We need rust loser. Come on, man. Sweet and sour chicken, what is happening? I can't open the hood. It's been so long since the hood has been closed, actually. Let's get some proper lubrication stuff on there. PT8. Pray, where are you? How difficult it'll be to remove the kidney grills. Do they just pop out? The bloody clips! Oh, that's a stubborn clip, bro. Just this one wants to be a bastard. Come on in. Come and play with us. I don't want to break you. All right, successfully extracted. Hiya! Again, this one in the corner, man. It wants to fight. All right, spot of cleaning. These are original chrome kidney grills. Pretty much brand new. A very nice subscriber sent me these. Thank you very much. Let's pop them in. Yeah, I think I like that better. What do you think? Chrome or glossy black? I'm not sure. I like them both, if I'm being honest. For now, I'm gonna rock the chrome ones, and then if I change my mind, I'm gonna put back the glossy ones. I almost forgot about this, but we have a microfiber air scoop to install here from Venturi. First, gotta clean the surface here. Sticky tape. But as we learned with the badges on the V10 engine, I don't trust the tape, so we're gonna use Rinso Seal as an extra securing point. I think one here, and I think one more here. That ought to do it. Hey! Yeah, see, the sticky tape doesn't do anything. So you have to press it on the inside as well. Extra 27 horsepower. Bruder. Nicht schlecht, huh? A couple of things in the interior. The Alcantara steering wheel. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. I don't like this flat thing on the bottom. And Alcantara for everyday use is just terrible. Like, it already doesn't look that great. And also this blue start button needs to go for a walk and never come back. The battery is disconnected. It's pokey poke time. There it is. That's the airbag removed. Okay, you. There's a mark on the column and the steering wheel. Start button. I think we can just peel this slab of wood like an onion. No, we're gonna need tools. Oh. Okay, onion peels easier. Can I extract the start button without removing everything? I don't care if I damage the button. I do care if I damage my beautiful wood trim. Okay. The bezel. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now it's getting loose. Just come out. It's just plastic clips. How can they be so strong? There it is. It's out. Off to the bin it goes. This is the original M3 leather steering wheel that a lovely subscriber from the States sent me. I can't remember the exact year, but he removed this from his own M3 back in, let's say, 2010. And it has 500 miles, something like that. So it's basically brand new. Original, never recovered. It looks beautiful. The only thing that I just realized, this is the steering wheel for a DCT car. dual clutch transmission, so you get pedals here in the back. And the manual one doesn't have that. So I want to use the steering wheel because, as I said, it's original, in perfect condition, never recovered. So I'm gonna pop it in like this for now and then see if I can maybe find some covers to cover up the holes here. Need to transfer over the buttons and also lose the M button here. Screws. Okay, I'm gonna go visit the donor car and steal the black M button, because this just looks cheesy. And this, I'm actually not gonna get rid of it. I don't wanna sell it because this would be a perfect steering wheel for a track car. And I do hope one day that I'm gonna build E90 or E92 track car. Here's the steering wheel from the donor car. Pop the cover and extract the button. There's the button. In you go. Give it a bit of a clean. There you go. M button restored. Gonna clean the buttons. This trim is actually in very good condition. It must have been replaced at some point. And here's a brand new original start button. There are fake ones on eBay as well, but they don't look right. This does. Plug it in. Line up the marks, the bolt. Perfect. Oh man, that is so much better. It really is mint, the steering wheel. I nearly forgot about this dazzling feature. Get out. Just get lost. Donor car to the rescue once again. Much better. The license plate, got a good one. Frankfurt M3 E92. That cost me 10 bucks. Because the car already has German papers, it was easy to get the tooth. The green party sticker, that's the old one. If you drive in Germany, this green sticker is something you need in order to drive in the cities. And we're ready for the first drive. We have 232,957 kilometers. When I bought the car, the speedo was showing around 84,000 kilometers, which was false. When it was sold on the auction in the States, the speedo was showing 144,500 something miles, which translates to 232,500 kilometers. So Oli from Moy Motors coded the car with the speedo back to that mileage and then added a bit more to kind of compensate for that. Because the car went from the States to Latvia, then to Germany, and somewhere along the way someone manipulated the mileage of the car. So this is the true mileage on the speedo now. Cold start. Oli from Moy Motors put the cold start function back on. Okay, first stop, get some fuel and check the oil level. I know it's gonna need some. Oh, I gotta check. Wait a minute, we have a service engine soon light already. Well, that's great. So the check engine light just came on. So back we go. And I just put the OBD cover back on because I thought I'm not gonna need it. Foolish of me. Fuel injector, rail pressure sensor, circuit out of range or performance problem. So let me clear them, start it again and see what comes back. Let's at least drive to the fuel station and back and see if the codes come back. Maiden voyage. Oh, I just lost mirrors. What? You stupid thing. Okay, let's get some fuel. Okay, fueled up and the mirror is misbehaving again. Okay, I'm gonna scan for codes again. So I got fuel pressure model comparison. I don't know what's that about. So let's just drive around and see what's what. The suspension is stiffer than I thought it would be. We are on the road, the car is getting up to temp, and it's finally trying to check the oil level. So I'm gonna pull over somewhere, let it do that. We've covered 3 kilometers. Yep, the fuel pressure sensor is plugged in. The oil level is correct, and that's the most important thing. Breaking in a brand new engine. A common mistake here would be to baby the engine, to like not go over 2000 RPM and just drive very, very slowly and gently. You don't want to do that. What you actually want to do is to drive the car normally. That means half a throttle, no wide open throttle, and just rev the car up to 4,000, 5,000 RPM. Just rev all the time smoothly. Speed up, speed down, keep the RPMs moving. Don't go on the highway or the Autobahn and turn the cruise control on and just do 1,000, 2,000 kilometers like that. If you're on the highway, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. You just want to keep the RPMs moving, and that way you will essentially teach the engine how it's going to work for the rest of its life. That is very important in order to properly bed in the piston rings. So what we need to bed in here are the piston rings, the camshafts, and the clutch. So we're gonna hit the back roads and just drive the car. We're gonna do about 100 to 200 kilometers and then gonna go back to the shop, change the oil, check if you have any leaks, any other issues, and then continue driving with mineral oil for about 1,000 kilometers. Then I'm gonna switch to full synthetic, 10WS60, and then do another 500 to 1,000 kilometers, and then the engine should be fully broken in. Gonna do a bit of Autobahn driving, so smooth acceleration, 40,000 RPM. Man, the shifter feels phenomenal. M mode, ooh. Oh, the M mode does make a lot of difference. But it has that stupid sharp throttle setting that I need to turn off. Is that it? Yes, that's the one. The throttle is back to being normal. Let the RPMs drop on their own. I love seeing that bulge in the hood. It looks so muscly. So far, the car feels great. We need new shocks, but other than that, it feels brilliant. I haven't even checked if the radio is working. Yeah, it is. Tire pressure monitor malfunction. I did buy brand new tire pressure sensors. As we learned with Alpina, the first 100 kilometers are critical. If something's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go within first 100 kilometers. The oil level reading machine is now saying that it needs 1 liter of oil, so let me park somewhere flat and check the oil level again. It sounds great. So with Alpina, after about 400 kilometers, I could hear a distinctive change of sound from the engine and the exhaust once the engine was, well, run in. Let's see if I'm gonna feel the same thing here. It's saying that it needs 1 more liter of oil, so let's add some oil. So still getting that fuel pressure model comparison error. Okay, I just found a thread on the forum and some guy had the same issue, same code, 27CE, and he replaced the fuel pressure sensor and everything went back to normal. I think once we get back to the dojo, I'm gonna borrow the fuel pressure sensor from the donor car. And now it's saying full. So what happened is while we were driving, the car got up to temp and the oil cooler thermostat opened and probably swallowed a liter of oil more. Half a throttle, speed up nicely. Oh, another E92. Decelerate. Accelerate. Still won't reset TPM, which tells me that sensors that I bought might not be right, or I need to code them, program them, something like that. Anyone want some Fisherman's? No? Okay, I did offer. Fresh carbon fiber. It's not working out. There, steering wheel feels great. I love it. Rogue Engineering shifter is phenomenal. I love it. Same as on the E46. Beautiful, short, click, precise, smooth throws. I love that. How it should be from the factory. By the way, hoodies, look at that. It looks great, doesn't it? Ah, good thing we have winter tires. There's quite a lot of ice around here. Oh, rubber matching in this car is gonna be so good. Oh, it sounds so good. Naughty. Oh, this is actually the same road where I took the E60 M5 for the very first drive as well. So far, thoroughly enjoyable drive. The engine is working lovely. Okay, does this thing have Bluetooth? It should, shouldn't it? 2011. Add new phone. Yes, please. We're hooked up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, that sounds freaking awesome. I love that. Shh. We can't copyright, but that sounds great. What a beautiful summer day, huh? We have slightly higher compression ratio pistons. We have Schrick cams and higher flowing heads by Topmar Motorworks and another mod. So the car should make significantly more power than stock. And once the engine is fully run in, we're gonna go on the dyno and then tune it further and see how much power we're gonna get out of this engine. That's gonna be exciting. Stock, it's 420 PS, but these cars are notorious for delivering a lot less on the dyno, like 390 or 400 from the factory. We'll see what this one makes. Don't know if I said this, but the reason why we're running mineral oil is it'll allow for more wear to happen, which is important for piston rings. They need to bed in, they need to scrape up the walls and seal properly. Sounds so good. So that's what you want to do, just accelerate smoothly and then decelerate. Listen to that intake noise. Oh, and I'm not going even half a throttle. It's like maybe 1/3. Oh, it's foggy now. The visibility has gone down significantly. I was just jamming to the music and I gotta say, the sound system is unbelievable. It's really good. If I'm not mistaken, this should be the individual sound system for the E90 platform, and it's... Anyway, we covered 85 kilometers. Now we're gonna start heading back. We have 73 kilometers to get back to the dojo and then change the oil and see how many 3 million oil leaks we have. Just occurred to me that there are absolutely no squeaks or rattles or anything in this interior. It's perfect. As far as the things that are broken, obviously that left mirror, need to fix that. It's just the pin that's getting stuck. We need to clean it. So not a difficult fix. The rest of the interior is pretty bang on. There's nothing that we need to do here. It's in very, very good condition. Just clean it and that's it. The leather is in perfect condition. Nothing else is broken. That's 4,000 RPM and it sounds magnificent. The seat is really good. I've been sitting now for 2-3 hours. no issues whatsoever. I found my perfect position. I am sitting slightly higher. I wish I was slightly lower, but still, it's fine. I can get used to it. What a machine. I can't stop smiling. The light output from the headlights is pretty average, and that's something that we're going to address in the next episode. We are back, 157 kilometers, and the engine still sounds wonderful. I forgot, does this car have parking? Yeah, it does. Let's change the oil. No oil leaks that I can smell so far. So the oil is going to be very glittery, full of tiny, tiny metal shavings, which is absolutely normal during the braking period, as the components inside of the engine are bedding in, wearing in. So for example, the cylinder walls, the piston rings are scraping them, and that's creating that dusty, glittery stuff that you see in the oil. Boom. Yep, glitter indeed. Oil leaks, where are you? It's actually not too bad at all. Way less glittery than the initial oil that we drained. While the oil is draining, we can drop the under tray and check for leaks. Look at this, a BMW without oil leaks, like beer without foam. You probably can't see, well maybe you can a little bit, but the front of the engine is absolutely dry. So that means, and the sides as well, so that means that the bed plate is sealing properly, as well as the front main seal. All of the lines are dry. And that makes me very, very happy. The trans is dry as well. Rear main, nope, nada. It's almost like I built it properly. But let's not get too cocky, huh? And the thread repair that I did here is working successfully. As you saw, no leaks. The oil filter looks good. No big chunks of metal, which is good. We are continuing with 10W40 mineral oil, pre-lubed oil filter. Check the power steering fluid level. Perfect. Coolant. Perfect as well. The fuel pressure sensor lives right over there, so I'm going to remove the cover to access it. Here's the one that I stole from the donor car. I'm gonna pop it in and see if that resolves our code. The car still has stupid US spec mirror glass, which is like the dumbest thing ever. Why would you use something that gives you less visibility? I don't understand. So I'm gonna remove this and use the Euro spec spherical mirrors from the donor car. That is a UK car and has the right mirrors. Actually, I can only use the left one because the right one leaked out. Gonna have to buy a new one there. I've showed you this in the past, and I'm not sure if I'm managing to do it correctly right now. But the US spec mirror, it's like a normal mirror, and it looks like it's zoomed in, so your field of vision it's much narrower than this one. This looks like it's zoomed out. That's the best way I can explain it. And then you have this corner here for the dead spot when you're changing lanes on the highway and whatnot. So this is a much, much better mirror. Plug in the connector. It's so annoying to drive with those mirrors. Now I can continue driving. Cold start time. Check engine light just came on. And I was just about to say that it didn't come on yet last night when I was driving back home. Yeah, same code. So I'm gonna order a brand new fuel pump and fuel filter. Was planning to do that anyway. I was just hoping to do it a bit later. We're gonna go wash the car. It needs a wash badly. Hello. Bitte Nummer 3. Oh, that guy is thorough. Usually they're just and gone. When it comes to car washes, this one really isn't that bad. It's the middle of the winter, okay? I'm not gonna hand wash the car. It hasn't been detailed yet. Active Schaum. Yep, that's bent. Phase 1. At least it's not brushes, you know? I got the premium wash with the wax and whatnot. 20 euros, man, 20 euros. It used to be 15. Just made a quick stop at a French bakery. Grabbed some goodies. Got a baguette with salami. It's good. It's 65. Nice, 740i. Tiny engine. I hate these stupid electronics oil level readers. So let me park on a flat surface, flat-ish, and let it do its thing. In the meantime, I can chug this delicious eclair with vanilla. I don't understand what was wrong with an oil dipstick. You pull it out and you physically see the oil level. You lying sack of shit. Update. We are at 886 kilometers and my better half is here and we're going to Limburg to grab Limburger Zecca, something like that. It's a very delicious apple treat with apples. As far as the car goes, I got a new code, EDC malfunction, electronic damper control, and the code reads for the valves in the front shock absorbers. So as I said, the shocks are shot, and when that code pops up, it goes automatically into the stiffest setting, so it's very, very uncomfortable to drive on the Autobahn. So we need to change the shocks ASAP. Other than that, the code for the fuel pressure sensor or fuel pressure has gone away. Can't explain it. I refueled a couple of times and now it's gone. So I suspect it has something to do with the fuel filter and the fuel pump, which I'll need to replace as soon as possible as well. Other than that, the car is doing well, really well. I did take it up to 5, 6, even 7,000 RPM, and I can already say that the engine is fully run and it pulls great. It's very smooth. The engine changed the sound, the note is different, it's a bit deeper, burblier, and it just pulls very cleanly. See? Just magnificent to drive. So we should hit 1,000 kilometers on the way back, and then we're gonna switch to 10W60. Oh, by the way, I did do another oil change at around 500 kilometers just because I wanted to see what the oil looked like. And to my surprise, very, very clean. Pretty much no glitter at all. So the engine is doing well. I can't do the book test just yet. She doesn't know what that is. This is the place, Cafe Wheel. If you're passing by Limburg, which is somewhere between Frankfurt and Cologne, make a pit stop here. It is a very old coffee house. I think it was founded in 1880s, and currently the 5th generation, it's still family owned, is running this place. And they have really good coffee and a delicious treat, which is my favorite, called Limburger Zecca. Hello. This is the one. Get that. There it is. 2 Stück. And it's gone. Limburger Zecca. Here we go. "1,000 kilometers completed." And here's what the engine sounds like after 1,000 kilometers. It's mint. You got it a bit dirty, but the engine sounds wonderful. Smooth as silk. Very clean. Very good. And now we're gonna go with 10W60, full synthetic. We are running BE rod bearings with extra rod bearing clearance so we can run this oil safely. Absolutely love it, but the V10 has the better bark. Which end sounds better? Okay, I'm still not gonna go foot to the floor or redline the engine, but before we close out this episode, I gotta give you a little taste of what this magnificent engine and car feels like. So we're gonna go on the Autobahn, have a bit of fun. I'm gonna do 2/3 of the throttle, and I'm gonna use the rev range, but I'm not gonna like redlining to 8,400, whatever it is. I want to do another 900 kilometers before I can say the engine is fully broken in, even though it is, I can feel it. And then I can be really hard on it. Here we go. Oh, it feels terrible at high speed. The shocks are really blown. It's very floaty. So the shocks, they're super stiff over bumps, but then at high speed, it's just way too floaty. I don't like it. We need new shocks. That's it, 250. We're limited by the winter tires. I gotta do something about the clutch pedal. It has a ton of dead travel towards the bottom and then even more towards the top. It's very high, it's very annoying.
After later jumping into the E60 M5, it hit me hard how badly the clutch pedal feels on the M3. The pedal is super springy and very light, there's a ton of dead travel on the top and the bottom, the clutch pedal sits notably higher in relation to the brake pedal, and it's difficult to feel the biting point. This makes fast shifting rather tricky, and none of my other manual cars feel like this. After a bit of googling, turns out I'm not the only one to find this to be an issue, and a popular mod is to remove 1 out of 2 springs for the clutch pedal, and this supposedly improves the pedal feel. I opted for a new setup and placed an order for an ultimate clutch pedal assembly made out of billet aluminum, and we're gonna be installing that in the next episode.
And again, this wasn't full throttle. It's coming in the next episode. Let me tell you a story. The year was 2008 or 2009. A young Stratton was on his way to the high school in a bus, listening music on his tiny red MP3 player. I think it was like 512 megabytes, something ridiculous by today's standards. And I was daydreaming of driving this very own car, E92 M3. I remember when it came out in 2007, I just fell in love with the design, the shape. I adored the car. And then I heard a V8 burble, how it drives, and that was it. It just stayed in my memory forever. And I had a Monte Carlo blue E92 M3 on my wallpaper forever. And one of the songs that takes me back to that exact moment when I was daydreaming about this car is the one that I'm going to play right now. So if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna fulfill my teenage dream. Guru Josh Project Infinity. Man, that takes me back. Didn't know anything about cars mechanically back then, and could never afford one either. So the fact that I own one right now, it's thank you. Thank you all so much. It's so beautiful, isn't it? I keep turning back wherever I park it and I just keep looking at it. God, I love this car. and the shape. It's, you know, people dream about Ferraris, Lambos, supercars, hypercars. For me, this was it. Absolutely ecstatic that this car is finally back on the road. Another formerly broken BMW back where it belongs. That makes me very happy. In the next episode, we're going to replace the shocks. That's the number one thing that I hate about the car right now, because it constantly keeps going into that fail-safe mode, and then the shocks stiffen up and it's very uncomfortable to drive. I hate it. So hopefully Bilstein can deliver them in time, and then we gotta fix that stupid mirror and replace the fuel filter, the fuel pump, overhaul the headlights. We're going to upgrade the projectors because the current ones are really pathetic, and then replace the rear taillights. And then after about 2,000 kilometers, I can finally go wide open throttle. So we're gonna do some pulls, gonna put the car on the dyno, do the final tune, and see how much power this engine is making. Should be a pretty exciting episode. The next episode, however, is going to be on Project Marseille, the E31 850i. We are finally building the M73 B54 V12 engine for it. And well, stay tuned for that. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for following along, for being part of this project, for subscribing, sharing the videos, all of that good stuff, and helping me get this car back on the road. It is a fabulous, fabulous feeling to see this car running and driving again. And a special thank you to all of my Patreons. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna stand where you're standing and just keep looking at the car.